Welcome back, grade 7. In this video, we are going to be explaining or going over the answers to exercise 10.1 practice questions. So again, this is optional, but if you are stuck or need some help on any of these questions, this might help in figuring out how to come up with your answer. So first, we are given this Cartesian plane with a number of different points on it from A to J. And we're asked to figure out the coordinates of some particular points within this graph. The first one we're asked to figure out is point A. And point A that we're figuring out here, remember that we want the x and y for how far it is. X is first, and it's how far left or right it is. So it's 1, 2, 3 spots to the right, so 3. And then y, it's not up or down, it's right on that line, so it's 0. So 3, 0 is our coordinate for our first point A. B asks us to figure out the coordinate of point I. So point I is right here. And so if we figure that out, we start with our x, how far right or left it is. It's 1 to the right. Okay, we see that's in line there. And then how far down. So 1 to the right, which means our x is 1. How far down? 1, 2, 3 spots down. So -3 in the y direction. For our next point, we're asked to find the coordinates of point E. Point E is all the way out here. We start with our x, going 1, 2, 3, 4 over on the x. It's to the left now, so we know that's a -4. And then going 1, 2, 3 spots up to -4, comma 3 for the coordinates for point E. Question D asks, what points are in the first quadrant? Well, if you remember, our first quadrant is right here that we start off with just both of our, all of our positive values, and then we go counterclockwise. So this would be second, this would be third, and this would be fourth. So for the points options that we have CB, we have JI, we have FG, and we have point E. We can see that of all of those options, it's point C and B that are within the first quadrant for question D. Question E asks which points are in the fourth quadrant. Well, if this is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, we have points I and point J within the fourth quadrant. Question F asks which points are on the y-axis. So if you remember our axis, these are the lines that go across, that go left and right, or that go up and down. And we also have them labeled. And so if you see here, the one that goes left and right, this is called our x-axis. The one that goes up and down is our y-axis. So the points that are on the y-axis, or this line here, are point H and point D. So those are the only ones that deal with that particular graph. The next questions asks us to identify the x coordinate for number 2, and then the y coordinate for number 3. So 2a gives us the value, point A is at 3, -2. Find the x coordinate. Now hopefully you're getting really used to this, but just as a quick refresher, the first value is always our x value, the second value is always our y value. So here, which one's the x? The x is the first one, 3. The second question, question B, we have point C is at -1 and 4. Which one's my x coordinate? It's -1. For question 3, it flips it. It now asks write down the y coordinate for each point. So 3a, we have point P at 4 and -5. Remember, the first ones are x, the second ones are y. So now that we're asked to find the y, -5 is our y coordinate. And then final question in B, we have point R at -6 and 7. The y coordinate for that one is the second value there, the 7 for that particular point. Hopefully if you were stuck on any or needed any extra explanations, that this helps you going through these particular questions for math.